we will try to understand about uh, JMeter. So, JMeter is a tool, and this tool is used to perform test the performance of the application and to test the load of the application. And what I mean by testing load of the application, that is like number of users. Let's say, is my application able to handle 5,000 users at a time? So that is called load testing, like simulating 5,000 users to test whether my application is able to handle this load or not. And second is called performance testing. Performance testing means what? To test the speed. Let's say I deployed an application. This application is able to handle 5,000 user request, but the request is very slow. So my user would get bad experience, right? So that I need to ensure that I have already tested the speed. So I know in advance the application which I am deploying that will give this millisecond per user request. That is why these tool plays a vital role in testing the number of users, in testing the speed of the application, and also the like stress testing. That is, let's say if my application has um 6,000 users, then that is a point of failure. My application will break. It will not handle 6,000 users at a time. So that is like I already know about my application. What is its breaking point? What is its capacity to handle the number of requests? What will be its um, speed while it will be um, providing the service to the users. Okay, this is about JMeter. And when apart from this, I have other tool also, that is I mentioned here, the Postman. So Postman is a tool that comes as a tool under functional testing. When I deploy an application in production, inside that application, there could be multiple API integrated to serve a single request. That could be coordinating with multiple API, endpoint of DB, or endpoint of any API to process, to store, to do sort of gathering, and then giving an response to the user. So whether my application APIs all working, or is there any um like my application using API. So maybe one API is not working. So that is a failure. I won't be getting the response which I have designed to give to the user, right? So that is like to test the functionality. if it is working or not. That's it. That is functional testing. So that we test with the help of Postman tool. That is, by sending a request, we are testing whether we are getting a response which we want to deploy in the production. That could be a feature or that could be a new application also. Apart from this, we have um, and why we are discussing about these tools, because we want to monitor our application, right? So to monitor our application, we should have tools in place. We should have the application data. We should have the infra data, right? So when I say application data, I'm talking about application level logs, matrix, or traces. When I'm saying infra, I'm talking about infra level logs, matrix, and traces, so that I can plan the capacity of the infrastructure so that my application handle the request. And also, like, before we deploy an application in the production, so the development start in the dev environment. In the dev environment, the developer will check the functionality or check the code or develop the logic. Once what the requirement is, and if the developer has developed the that requirement, then it will go to UAT, that is user acceptance testing environment, where developer is not giving an input. Now the users are testing what they have given in the requirement. Let's say they have given in the requirement like 2 into 3, it should be 6. And so whether it is giving 6 or not, like a basic example I have taken here. So that is like the input is given by the user. So what the requirement has given to the developer, is it giving that response or not? Okay, so that is that we do in UAT environment. After that, we promote it into a staging environment. Why we are doing it in a staging environment? Because now we want to deploy the um, this app in the lower environment before directly publishing it to the end users, so that if there is any breakage, there is any critical issue that we are unable to fix in and it is taking long time, so we cannot afford to lose our end user customer. So what we will do, we have to switch the environment, like from we will roll back to the previous version. So that's why we have the staging environment, so that we can do all sort of a simulation before we deliver it to a production environment. Now, when we say infra, so we are talking infra or the application. So we use a platform called like Kubernetes, and that platform we can use from AWS, right? So we have Karpenter is one of the tool that is responsible for taking care of node. If there is like pods are not getting schedule, so it will make sure that the node is available if the cluster is running out of node. That is the job of a Karpenter tool. And Karpenter have I have a pricing list API of AWS, so that it can place the appropriate or suitable node only as per the current requirement. So there is like reduction of manual headache to, right size the node likewise. So it can have affinity, anti-affinity, and we also have other um, uh, I would say um, things for scheduling the pod on which particular node we can. And apart from this, we have KEDA also. So KEDA is for pods. It will be scaling the number of pods based on events, whereas Carpenter will be scaling the nodes. It will not be scaling the pods. It will work on node auto scaler. Like in the Kubernetes, manually we have horizontal pod scaler, a vertical pod scaler. So rather than this, we can have the KEDA for pod, and for node we can have Carpenter, right, in the Kubernetes. And so this is the platform where we deploy our application. And now the part comes about how we will control the cost. So what is the usage of the namespace? What is the usage of the service? What is the usage of the pods? So for that we have open cost is one of the open source tool that we can implement to get the inside what is happening in our cluster, and we can analyze the cost, why the cost went high uh, 2 days back, and why uh, there is more cost generating from a particular service, so that we can track with the help of this open cost um, tool. And so this is like very important to have a control over cost part. Apart from this, I also yeah, we also have security for pod to pod communication. So in Kubernetes cluster, how we manage the rule, like in AWS, we use EC2 service, and for one EC2 to uh, connect with another EC2, we define set of rules in the security group. Like on this protocol, um, it is allowed or it is not allowed, so that we have a secure communication, and we are aware in advance that what needs to be communicated, for which purpose these two servers are designed, and these two servers are created. So only that much access we are giving that is needed. We are not opening all the pods. We are not allowing inbound, outbound, which is not required. So that is being taken care with the security group in AWS. In the similar way, we have the tool that we call Calico. So we uh, use Calico to have the rule on pod level. Like we have DB pod, or we have front end pod. So which pod needs what access, only that much we are giving. We are not allowing like everything is allowed. so that we have security in place. And to implement this Calico, we have Tigera is one of the operator that we basically use, so that in case we need to install, we need to upgrade, so all the components are automatically taken care by this operator, from installing to the managing of the updates or upgrades or patches. So that is one thing. So this is all about um, when we say like why we do JMeter testing, and why we have Postman to test, like why we do functional testing with the Postman, that we have understood, and why we use open cost tool, uh, right, that we have understood, because we have we should have a guardrail, we should have a control over the cost, what is happening inside our cluster. And we have also understood how we will be scaling our pods and our nodes also, right? So this is it.